Welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be going over how I trade flag breakouts and high tide flags. I've launched a new website called tradesrus.net where you can get some free information as well as a paid membership, and you can get some mentoring, tutoring, and actionable trade ideas every day. So we'll start by going over flag breakouts and how I trade them. I've kind of simplified them. I've took them from other traders. I'm not going to say that I've invented them. I've took them from mostly Stockbee and Kulamagi. I've simplified them down to a few simple rules that I follow and that are easy for new traders to grasp and to follow as well. You can see here that I look for a stock that went up, between 50 and 100% within a couple weeks or, 2-3 months, something like that. The stock begins to consolidate, usually around some moving averages. As you can see here in PBT, moves up, consolidates around moving averages, and then gets tight before the breakout, so you have a good risk reward entry. Consolidates, building higher lows, gets tight, breaks out. I just look for simple setups like this over and over. They repeat themselves over and over throughout history, and you can find them in every market environment, even though in 2022 it's been harder. But there's been a bull market in commodity sectors, in energy sectors, especially in the first half of 2022. There were a lot of breakouts occurring. You can see here another oil and gas name, VTNR, a higher ADR name, 8.7 ADR now, but at the time it was even higher. Huge move up, again during this time period where other oil names are doing very well. Consolidates. You don't have as much tightness in these higher ADR names, but gives a nice breakout here for over 100%. Possibility of getting stopped out. This stuff happens, but still overall a pretty nice breakout after consolidating here. RCMD was another name I was watching. It's a commodity name. Built this beautiful consolidation here after making a move off the lows, consolidated, found these support levels, built higher lows, surfed these moving averages wonderfully, got tight before the breakout, made a nice move up. In this case, it's a thinner name and didn't look amazing on the daily in terms of it's a bit choppy, but if you put it on the weekly, look how clean this setup looks. Using different time frames are extremely important. I use all time frames when I'm trading. I day trade as well as swing trade. In this case, if you look at the weekly and you buy it, even if you buy it on this weekly candle, you put your stop below it, you're kind of just riding this whole move up with no stress. You put your stop at the break on the 10-day SMA once it breaks out, and you're good to go. You're kind of just an easy trade in 2022. Of course, not all the breakouts work during this time. I bought this name EDU while Chinese sector was gaining some relative strength, and EDU happened to be a leader among this sector. It still ended up being a profitable trade. I bought it when it broke out. You can see here $24.4, let's say. And, it did end up, I took a lot of the profits off of it, but it did end up reversing. But all you got to do is take profits, move up your stop, and let it play out. The setups are still there. You just have to be more selective about your setups, and you have to take profits maybe quicker. You gotta, it's a bit of an art that more than a science when it comes to these getting out of trades. I have a bunch of more content you guys can check out on the website. Going over the high tide flag setups in more detail. I have a bunch of examples like LEDs here. Went up a couple 100%, consolidated in a beautifully tight range, exploded. Pullback was on small volume. All the breakouts were on high volume. Just going through all these setups, documenting them, just to give you a new trader that wants to study these setups an idea of what to look for. And then of course you got to do a lot of studying on your own, but I trying to help out new traders here. I also apply these same rules to intraday breakouts. Now, there hasn't been many of these in 2022, that's for sure, just because there's a lot of less speculative money at play and a lot less of these momentum stocks just popping off. There have been a couple, but in 2021 and 2020 it was just crazy how they were happening every week. The only difference I look for is an intraday big move up, builds a tight range intraday, and has high volume. This is crazy volume compared to an average daily volume on a small cap stock like this. So if it doesn't have the volume, I'm ignoring it. There's always usually news as well. When a stock has this much volume, there's some kind of news. Once again, big move up, consolidating, tight range. The risk reward here is just insane. You know, you're risking sometimes 50 cents. The stock just explodes up. There were quite a few setups like this in 20. These are all from 2021, I believe. Intraday move, big move up, flags, builds higher lows. I use VWAP as an indicator instead of a moving average intraday. You know, I like to see stocks holding above VWAP or reclaiming VWAP in this case. Builds a high tech flag again here, and I bought it again here. And, you know, this was just definitely missing these moves in 2022. The only ones that worked in 2022 were, you know, early on, these oil names. Some of them went crazy as well. If you remember HUSA, just the volume on this one, I even played it as an EP just because the volume was just incredible. There were other names like INDO, AEHR was an hourly breakout. If you look at it here, it's always the same concept: big move up, consolidate, breakout, just on different time frames in this case. That's why I have a day trading account and a swing trading account, just based on different time frames. HKD was another hourly breakout that I actually didn't take this one, but could have definitely made somebody's year. I skipped it because the stock was so thin and so volatile. But if you look here, this high tide flag at $60 was just perfect. You know, big move up, pulls back, consolidates. Tight, super tight range for this stock that had a 67 ADR, and it just exploded out to, I think, $2,000 if I remember correctly. But you know, it is a risky name, and I didn't want to risk it at the time. In hindsight, you know, always looks better than it is. If you guys are looking for more educational content, actionable setups, one-on-one mentoring, weekly seminars, I'm starting this new platform, tradesrus.net, where you're going to get a live access to a Discord where you'll have access to me 24/7, and I can help you learn a bunch of different setups. I don't just have those. I have, you know, these are the 4 main swing trades setups that I trade, and I have the 4 main day trade setups that I trade. So if you guys are interested, you know, check it out. I have a discount going right now. For the first 25 people signing up, you get the first month half off with the discount code FIRST25. If you like the content, please drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.